something that's hit me hard lately is you work, 70, 80 hours a week in this job, and you're just really trying to push and make things happen. But I realized lately that, finding joy cannot come from a job you did or did not get, or if you made or did not make money on a project. Like, joy should be found in one place, and we need to
Yeah.
be reminded of that. I think it's important to come back to Christ and really seek Him for our joy, and not let things of this world wash us back and forth with the wind and the waves. But that's just something that's hit me hard lately, that God's good. He's going to provide. There's going to be stressful times. Things are going to go up. The market's, you know, it's going to bounce you around, and we just got to stand on that steady rock and really trust in Him.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm joined by Zach Preble, who is a friend of mine through the Benham brothers. We met at a business owner mastermind retreat in North Carolina. They refer to him as Captain America because he's a tall, striking, chiseled man who can deadlift a lot of weight. In any event, Zach owns a construction company in Minnesota, and they are doing big things. So I'm excited to talk to him and chop it up with him. Zach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Excited.
You didn't want to come on this podcast because you don't feel like you're the podcast type, but I beg to differ, and I'm excited to dive into it with you. So let's start with this, man. Tell us about who you are and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, like I said, my name's Zach Preble, up here in northern Minnesota. Got a construction company in Grand Rapids. It's about 75 employees. We've got a couple different divisions. We do design, build, do general construction for commercial work. We do self-perform our own concrete, carpentry, and the finished stuff. And then we travel, not too far around, probably 3 hours circle is about as far as we go. And we do a lot of banks and hospitals and hotels and restaurants and that type of work.
Well, how do you get these clients out of curiosity? I mean, you know this, I don't know anything about the space, but where does one go to get a contract to build a bank? Like, who comes to you? Do you approach them? Do they approach you? What does that look like?
Yeah, so thankfully, this business was set up in a way that really cared about quality and treating people right, and that brought a lot of good clients over the years. So we were fortunate enough to buy into a business that had that in place, where most of our work comes to us. They call, they've seen our work, they've heard from previous owners, and that's a big part of the work that we get.
Yeah. Well, talk just top line, like what was your guys' gross sales last year out of curiosity?
Last year was 26 million. Previous year was about 29 million. Then 27 the year before that. So it kind of bounces in that range.
Not bad, not bad. And then what's your goal? Like, where are you guys trying to be?
That 30 is kind of where we want to be right now, until we get some more processes in place and kind of build it the right way. We grew pretty fast about 10 years ago and had some growing pains from it. And we're just trying to do it the right way, and get to a position where we can grow the gross revenue in a meaningful way.
hmm What do you feel like are the sticking points? So every business owner has sticking points, things holding them back or preventing them from getting where they want to be. What do you think is between you guys and 30 million?
Yeah, so a big part of that is, like everybody struggle, labor shortage. We're seeing it here too. Just finding skilled tradesmen is becoming a harder thing, and the aging workforce has we're starting to see retirement at a higher rate than we have in the past, because of that group of older gentlemen that's kind of been leading the charge here. So that's a huge part of it. And then the newer, younger generation is just not catching on to a lot of those, the work ethic, the dedication, the quality aspects, where if there's an issue, they don't look at it as their own. They just look at it as a job. And that's a general, depiction of it. So there's still a lot of good people that we have and coming to the company and building up, but it just seems like that's the biggest sticking point for us is finding good quality laborers.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's interesting to me. So I want to double click on that for a second. What, hmm, how do we solve this problem? I mean, this every construction guy I talk to, you know, that is an issue. And I don't know if we've spent a podcast talking about that, but like, where do you find, because you mentioned you self-perform, right? Which means you do it in-house. Where do you find those skilled laborers and what do you do to get them to work for you and not for the next guy?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And a big part of that is the culture we've created here, and we're continuing to make an important part of our business. Guys want to work here. We do good work, quality work, and we're well known around the area for the work we do and how we treat people. So we have a pretty good opportunity to grab the higher skilled, the people who want to have their name on something. So that's important. And it's been good for us to get a lot of good employees that come into this area. But also onboarding, like we're working with Business on Purpose there, and they're coaching us and helping us to set up systems and processes and how do we do it right in the beginning, so we're not setting someone up for failure
Yeah.
who's fairly new to the construction world. And there's so many details and things that matter. You can't skip or push somebody through. So that's been a really cool thing that they're working through us. And then our unions are helping out on our end with training and putting guys through courses. And so that's been a really big part of the push lately.
Okay. What do you feel particularly proud about for your company? What do you feel like you guys do well? You've mentioned your company culture a couple times. What are,
Yeah.
yeah, could be that. I mean, tell what's the secret sauce there? I think every construction guy wants to have a really great work culture where people want to work there. So what do you feel like you're doing differently?
Yeah. I mean, at the foundation, it's God. Our previous owner has always said that this business is a conduit in which, God uses us to bless the community. That's not been a secret. It's not something that he's hid from the owners, from our employees, from everybody. So that's kind of the foundation that it started on. And people know we want to do the right thing. We want to treat people right. We want to take care of our own and the owners that we're working for and do a really good job of what we do. And people like that. They gravitate to that and they want to be a part of it. So I think the culture in just producing good quality product is important, and people want to be there.
Um, hmm, where to go next? Let's talk your tech stack for a sec. You're using, I believe we talked about this. Was it Procore? Are you guys using Procore?
Procore is probably the largest or the software we use the most for project management. Yeah.
Okay, and then what about for like estimation? Like what other kind of things do you use for to make the machine work?
Yeah. So we have takeoff softwares that we use. Plan Swift's, the kind of the quickest, easiest one we use, just to get takeoffs done and on to our estimate. But we've used estimating programs. Some are good, but we've developed our own through Excel, and it's kind of crazy. There's 14 tabs, and it links everything. But that's the main estimating tool that we use at this time.
Okay. Um, what else can we talk about, Zach? You give me something you want to talk about. What are you amped up about right now? What are you excited about? What's a topic or something that you want to double click on that we haven't talked about so far?
Yeah. So one of the notes was, the future. What do you see the future? And I
Yes,
know
let's
a
talk about
lot of
that. I
yeah,
like that.
a lot of people, when you ask that question, it's kind of a like a doomy, like not looking forward to what's coming. And I disagree. I think there's always going to be a need for what we do, and people are spending their money with companies that they trust more and more. Like they're paying attention to who's on the job sites, where they're going, what's going on. So I'm encouraged at where we're at, where we're going, how we're trying to build the company right and not just look for the bottom dollar every spot we get and take advantage of any situation. So I think building up through, the guy who's here day one to somebody who's been here 40 years, it's important to really invest into them and what we're doing. And there's always going to be a need for skilled tradesmen, and that's what we do. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's an exciting turn. I think it's going to be harder and harder to find those people and build them up, but the ones you do, it's going to be really rewarding. And I think we're going to see kind of a change in the construction world with moving towards more of the AI stuff, more of the offsite estimating, like you've kind of introduced to me. And there's just more options for fixing some of these problems that we haven't had access to in the past.
Yeah, totally. Um, hmm. Okay. I'm just trying to think of a couple other things. Oh, well, let's talk about AI for a second, since you see the future is bright. I know a lot of construction guys are like, well, how could it possibly help me? I mean, it's not going to help build the building or pour the concrete, but where do you feel like AI could be, like, I guess maybe in your business now, how are you using it, if at all? And where do you feel like you could be using it that you're not?
Yeah, so AI is something that we're not really utilizing. There's just so much that have come so fast that we've kind of put the brakes on it and wanted to really see it, understand what benefits there are, and have somebody we trust kind of showing us what the options are. So that hasn't really happened fully yet, and we're not utilizing it other than just helping us modify documents and prepare stuff and get it out the door.
Okay. Well, Zach, anything else you want to talk about in the realm of faith, family, fitness, finances, business, anything else?
So much to talk about. Just something that's hit me hard lately is you you work 70, 80 hours a week in this job, and you're just really trying to push and make things happen. But I realized lately that finding joy cannot come from a job you did or did not get, or if you made or did not make money on a project. Like, joy should be found in one place, and we need to
Yeah.
be reminded of that. I think it's important to come back to Christ and really seek Him for our joy, and not let things of this world wash us back and forth with the wind and the waves. But that's just something that's hit me hard lately, that God's good. He's going to provide. There's going to be stressful times. Things are going to go up. The market's, it's going to bounce you around, and we just got to stand on that steady rock and really trust in Him.
Amen. Well, that's a great word to end on, my friend. What if people want to learn more about who you are and what you do, where can they go?
HawkConstructionInc.com. We're up here in northern Minnesota and like to work and play in the cold.
And I hear you're already taking Airbnb reservations for your new lakefront property. Is that true?
Nope, this is going to be our own home.
All right, man. Thanks so much for joining. Hey, don't hop off. We'll hang out and talk a little bit. But thanks so much for joining us on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you.